Ok, je me suis dépêché. Les écouteurs. Ok, voyons voir. Plein de choses. Cool.
A phone book lies open on the table, covering a stack of utility bills. Right next to it, in plain sight, sits a small bottle of amphetamine, conveniently equipped with a straw.
Good. Confiscate it.
The minuscule amount of amphetamine doesn't interest the lieutenant in the slightest. He listens instead to something in the other room.
Est-ce que je peux utiliser la lumière? Oh.
A bundle of clothes heaped on the bed, a stained parka, some towels and a duvet, some socks even. Something underneath there is breathing. It's not too late. No one's going to blame you for backing out. You don't have to do this. Just get out. Your hand touches a greasy duvet covered in cigarette burns and ketchup stains. You hear a growl. There is something alive underneath it. You see a 60-year-old, fat, red-headed man passed out from large amounts of alcohol. And God knows what else. The smell of shit rises from his mouth. You don't have to take him down. He's already down.
What is there to do? We could turn him on his side so he doesn't choke on his own vomit, but he's already on his side. We could take him to Remedy or Saint-Baptiste, but he doesn't have money for medical services.
Okay.
The arms house would turn him down. They don't do charity for people who are trying to kill themselves. Besides, he'd be dead in a few.
The pile of blankets grunts miserably.
Well, judging by the color of his hair, I would say yes, it is.
The lieutenant's right. The man's unwashed hair bears a familiar ginger tone. Even the hair on his chest is coppery. The light from the window falls into his half-open eyes.
No, it really doesn't. This looks very hard to recover from. This man won't be feeding his family anytime soon. Not that he was, but at least he won't be beating his son.
A pair of half-open bug eyes is staring back at you from the dark, empty, and frozen. It's clear that the person behind them is not awake.
Look, he's trying to communicate. I'm afraid it is. Look, it moves.
A groan rises from the man's throat, dry like a death rattle. He's trying to say something in his sleep. The aging alcoholic is still there, breathing. The air in the room is stale.
Je crois que je vais le garder. Cool. Ah ouais, qu'est-ce que j'ai comme pantalon? Plus 1, réaction speed, moins 1. Ok. Dans les items...
An intricate web of the pattern still. The note is written. Medicinal purposes of flipping through the book, you find, have you taken any walks through the Pale recently? And on your walks, do you stop to meditate on the nature of your good? And when you meditate, are you in the nude? Nudity is the most... You probably can't even take off your pants, can you? Your partner is even more repressed than you. You glance over at the loot. Very well. First, next, you need to combine the base ingredient with an approach. Lastly, is there anything else? You've created a delicious tincture of whiskey and ginger. According to the farm, if only you could find one of these, would you like to try again? Very well. First, choose a base. Next, you need to combine. Lastly, is there anything else? You've created a delicious tincture of whiskey. If only you could find one of these right now. And would you like to try again? You close the book.
Allons sur le balcon. Oh shit. Faut que je regarde un truc vite fait. Ok. Ça, on n'y a pas accès. Cette personne, elle était pas là la dernière fois aussi.
This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Someone here really values their security.
Yes? Are you looking for me, gendarme?
No one answers.
We should talk to him.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds. It feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight, and his shirt is still unbuttoned.
Beautiful. So tell me, are you here to make things right again? Then I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting. That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not
Sure.
me.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark, and the neighboring windows have lit up, one by one.
Besides, I've got to run.
He's going to leave you alone again. That's sad.
Just look at it. It's a beautiful night. Who's going to stay in on a night like this?
He's right. Only losers go to bed early. Time to break out the booze. Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth as you're saying those words.
We'll talk. Just not tonight. Take care, all right?
Oh. Cool.
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him.
Who knows, detective? It's a mystery. Different, of course. Something so mysterious about the way he talks. Very. Come on, detective, let's go. We've got a potential
Yes.
witness to interview. His Sunday friend, remember?
Ok. C'était là du coup. Ah oui. Cool. Ouh.
Officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia. My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stabilité on assignment from Sur la Clé. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
Hanging? What a drag. He seems like a cultured gentleman. You should ask him about the finer things.
I got it from the head of the Samaran delegation on my trip to Lomantang. It's made from a special charcoal-colored bamboo. It's an emblem of the formal normalization of our diplomatic relations.
Ok.
That's really all I can tell you about it.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed.
I'm sorry to say I did, officer.
Easy, detective. No need to jump to conclusions.
Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play.
He holds out his hands and blossoms his fingers, like a drama teacher setting the scene.
What do you mean, like in a play?
It was just so strange. I could barely comprehend what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one. That's when I understood. I should not be seeing this.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Well done, detective.
I couldn't tell you exactly. Less than 10. Maybe 8?
The lieutenant sends you a sharp look at the mention of that number.
That's a giant you're describing. No, they were all quite human, as far as I could tell. Drummers? Why, no. But then, I don't know what a drummer is supposed to look like.
I think we can drop the drummer angle. That was my bad.
I went back inside.
Were you able to see anything from inside?
Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man. Those funny... Oh, officer. That kind of language is unbecoming of an officer of the RCN. I believe they were mostly white, though I believe I saw 2 Areopagites among them. And I am quite certain that one spoke with a Mesk accent. All men, I presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly. Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching. Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything. I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add.
About what time was all this happening, approximately?
All I can say is that it was late. No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day.
It seems this wasn't the break you were hoping for. I think we have everything we need. Thank you for talking to us, Mr. Villedroit.
Of course, anything I can do to assist the RCN. The Coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight. It is the most important thing. It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment, which is essential for maintaining the social stability.
Basically, it makes sure the price of bread doesn't change.
Précisément. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%. But not too far below, no. Too below is also bad. Below, but close to 2%. The Coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet? A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison d'être of the moral intern. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist. But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the moral intern's commitment to transparency. Well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the Coalition forces landed here. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here. La communauté internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the Coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution. Yes, as I said before, I am a commissioner from Sur-la-Clé working for the Institute of Price Stability. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Intern. It's the international organization for moralists, hence Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the Coalition.
There are more nefarious powers to work for than the moral intern.
But of course. Because moralists believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values. The Occident is part of the normal world, Oranje, sur la clé. Martinez? No. Martinez is something else. Rivachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy. But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking.
Of course, the detective's personal views do not represent the views of the RCM.
Your full autonomy is important, I agree. But it's an ongoing process. Nothing happens overnight. Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? What's there to say? Sur la Clé is a modern, urbanized country that measures very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index. Mostly, though, it's known as the executive heart of EPIS. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revachol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes. Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur la Clé. Its language, its people, its cuisine even, or at least in the downtown La Delta area. Oranje is an exemplary nation who, as a core member of EPIS, contributes 28% of our annual budget. Next to Sur la Clé, Oranje is probably the most prominent member of the international community. As founding members, they are both very EPIS. Oranje carries a lot of political weight, while Sur la Clé takes care of the business side of things. Sur la Clé hosts the headquarters of the major EPIS institutions. Oranje's economy is one of the most advanced in the world. It has successfully transitioned from heavy industry to advanced services and generally acts as an engine for sustainable change in the international community. About what? Oh, it's very urban and very well organized. Their streets are clean, their horse cars run on time, the people are polite and efficient. Like I said, they are an example for less emerged nations to follow. Whatever you wish, officer. Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters. How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Isola? Oil platforms ablaze in the night, civil wars lasting for years. Finally, the international community is forced to step in. One of the wonders of democracy is that everyone is allowed to have his own opinion. And not just allowed, encouraged even. Have you ever tried debate? Debating. You should consider joining a debating society for adults. I hear they're oodles of fun. I used to have a flyer for one, But now that I start thinking of it, it was for an improv class anyway. It's this funny theater thing, you know? Very creative. Helps relieve stress.
A chill runs down your spine as you envision a half-dozen people in professional attire standing around a chair, awkwardly pretending to be waiting for a motorbus. It's neither funny nor creative.
Sorry, who? But I told you, officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It is a cornerstone of our civilization. Officer, you have to understand. I can't give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation. He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes.
As though you weren't envious enough of the boy as is.
He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him. I'm just enjoying the view.
A dead body we still need to get down, by the way.
Listen. The Insulindian Bay. This place used to be a luxury accommodation before the revolution. Apartments, of course, were much bigger then. A few walls have been added here and there, leaving some of the tenants without a private bathroom or a kitchen. But the million real view stays. You can't take that away. My friend comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's a busy bee. Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But, between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue. That it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since. EPIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations. It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wild success. Nothing but kilograms and centimeters as far as the eye can see.
God, yes. Sweet standardization. The backbone of rationality and commerce.
It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel. Another success. And between you and me, the Moral Intern feels emboldened by this success. Emboldened to take EPIS to the next level. Why, it stands for progress and stability, like the Moral Intern as a whole. It's been such a wild, extraordinary success thus far. We are very excited to take it to the next level. A supranational political alliance. The United States of Occident. You mean Revachol? No, it's going to have transparent democracy. It's one day going to be a candidate member of EPIS, sure. No, candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole system in place if they don't? It just takes time. Time and evaluation. But we were talking about my friend here, not politics. I'm all ears, officer. A moment, officer. Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave. It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen.
That's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be seen loitering around in underprivileged young men's apartments in the middle of the night.
Of course. I'm sorry I couldn't be the break you were looking for. Good luck with the investigation.
Ok. Est-ce qu'on a tout récupéré?
Was there anything else?
No.
Of course.
Voilà. Ça a blablaté. Minuit 40. Zozo. Non, je crois pas qu'on puisse y aller. Peut-être retourner à l'hôtel du coup. Oh.
This door has been closed with a
Okay. J'aurais voulu voir le balcon vite fait en fait. Si possible. Il y a aussi la map. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a sur ce passage déjà?
Hello again.
Non, je peux pas te parler, toi. C'est quoi déjà cette porte? Y a rien. Non, c'est juste sa piole. Ok. On retourne à l'hôtel du coup. Allez. Dur, dur. Hein.
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. Yeah, why?
Why must we stop to look at this wall every time?
Oh, arrête de te plaindre.
Trying to sneak up on me.
C'est quoi cette porte? Ah, ah oui. Suis-je bête? Joyce? Hmm. On va voir si Joyce est là. Pourquoi il court pas?
Matter of fact, I don't. I have a medical condition of my own. Nothing unusual, though. I'm old, you see. Of course. That's what I'm here for. Word has traveled.
It appears we are being monitored every step.
Until you come up with something at that intersection, I'm afraid I have little else to tell you. But I'll try. Ask. The two might even be connected.
Or not. Though, if you have evidence to the contrary, I'm eager to hear it.
As eager as I am to share it, Lieutenant, once the job is done. How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves. Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
Okay.
No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However, this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue. Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable, the weary.
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
Okay.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Tract and beg them to open a drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kisaragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand. We did, on more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just the RCM. No one's been able to find any hard evidence.
Well, here's your chance, officers.
She simply nods.
Until you come up with something at that intersection,
She simply nods.
what would you like to know? Of course there are. I mean, we are. And
She nods.
good.
Comment...
Word has traveled.
It appears we are being monitored every step we...
Until you come up with something at that intersection, how do you think they're...
There was a
With all due respect, precisely. Smuggled out of the two.
or not. Though
As eager as I am to share it, Lieutenant.
She simply nods.
More lessons in basic reality.
Ah oui.
It's a neurological...
She conveys it in short, in case he goes down later, souring the
It's not just me, Detective. Well, it's I... That seems...
What this boils down to is,
Yes, I perform autoerotic.
yes, and lie about it too, to her. She stares at you, head tilted.
Nothing more, nor...
yes, we are.
Yes. That... Permit me to... And if
Okay,
those
okay.
authorities drink... What I am not is a basic term. The girl in the old lady rags looks like a sullen and... Yes. She prefers a fantasy world. Young people who die there... All right.
Suddenly, you're not so sure.
And what would that be?
She lets out.
My reality impaired... Many of the RCM's fight, but please, do continue this.
Yes. Let's.
Very low.
A strange cold. It's on the tip of your tongue.
Glad to have been of assistance.
Ok. Direction l'hôtel. Pourquoi je peux pas voir? Est-ce que c'est à cause de la lampe? Ah non, faut rester appuyé en fait. C'est nouveau, avant il fallait... Ok, il me semblait qu'il fallait double-cliquer. C'est pas grave. Qu'est-ce que c'est ça? Ouh. Je ne peux pas lui parler, pourquoi? Ok, très bien, on va rester là. Hein? Ok.
You see a heavy steel door with the cobalt blue surface. The door does not.
Can I help you? Can I help? Another thing. Great. I love those. What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business. No, you don't. If you had a warrant, you'd be shoving it in my face, right? Besides, the RCM doesn't do search warrants. I know the law. You'll just have to wait for the kitchen to open. If you have to get in there, which you don't.
You do realize you can just go into the kitchen at 1300 hours. No need for superstar charm or Sambo-style antics here.
Okay.
Sambo is an acronym for Samoan boxing, graceful martial arts stuff. Sambo style implies stealth, cleverness, and cool. Just letting you know.
Yes, and the phone company is taking its sweet time sending someone to fix it. Who told you that? Fine, yeah, it looked like someone had messed with the wiring. It was shortly after the hanging, but I don't know if it's at all related. Plenty of arseholes around here who aren't murderers. If you do find out who cut the line, though, let me know, so I can forward them the repair bill. Yes?
Okay. Voir la map vite fait. Map wall c'est fait. Plus measure head. Box of sunglasses. Mirror. Ok. Je peux toujours rien faire là.
The door is closed. This door can...
Okay.
The bed is still cold from the broken window, and not...
Bien.
The bed is still cold from the wind blowing in from the broken window. The mattress creaks as you close your eyes and try your hardest to fall asleep.
Here we are again, my broken bud. The waves are coming, carrying you away. But you can't go. No, you have to stay. Always half aware of yourself. You're not cooperating, brother man. It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep you feel a vague discomfort suffusing it. Your belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender. You wish you could curl up into a fetal ball of safety. But you cannot. Because of the pain.
That pain in your right side is your enlarged liver, by the way. As for your kidneys, you've really been compounding the damage lately. Every cell in your body is moaning in agony, asking, what did we ever do to you?
Now, you're finally thinking about something other than yourself. Let's see how far that'll get you.
Oh, yes. That'll check you out. Give you some pills. Make it all okay. The Wonder Makers.
Don't be stupid, Harry. It's not happening. They don't make new kidneys and livers in hospital. All you've got to do is pray to God it passes and stare at the flickering darkness.
You're just stuck here, in the half-world. Could try looking at other people, really looking. But why would you want to start doing that? How many promises have you kept lately, Sir Harry? To the great see-through world. The tenderness.
Thou art honourable and just, sire. 'Tis the snakes who are vile, hissing in the grass. Come now, humans have earned your trust, and you theirs.
What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater awareness? Look at all these lights, blinking in and out of existence. Thoughts! You're just pretending that you're asleep, even to yourself, while the world goes on without you.
Let it. Let it.
But it never seems to let you go, does it? Time to rise and wipe that shining sweat off as best you can. Gather your bearings. Rock and roll.
Cool. Ça dit?
Hey, so we've been monitoring you internally, and now we know your Copo type. Yes, guess what's yours? No, you're the sorry cop. The cop who's sorriest. Let's make it official then, shall we? Huge lack of enthusiasm going on in here. No, you don't. Come on. You'll be back to saying sorry in 2 minutes. Stop wasting time and begin the repentance. Oh, you know. Apocalypse, Superstellar, the advanced interesting cop, liquid shadow cop. But you're too sorry to say those things. So, here we go. What? Jealous of the sorry cop? I think they'll be fine. Don't worry. They'll be super, super fine. It'll be totally okay. You can dual Copo type from sorry to anything. Of course you are. It's okay.
Cool.
See if you can get something out of this, like info. Or maybe every time you say you're sorry, you get $1 million.
Toujours des moins. Moins 1.
That won't happen.
Ok, cool. Je crois que on a bien avancé. En plus, le passage, le pont va s'ouvrir. Donc ça c'est cool. Voilà. C'était une session un peu plus longue que d'habitude. Plein de découvertes, plein de progrès. Il y a tellement de choses à faire, et ça parle tellement. Des fois j'ai l'impression de stagner. On va essayer de continuer cette semaine. Merci d'avoir regardé, d'avoir écouté. Passez une très très bonne soirée. Puis à très vite. Ciao ciao.